That Sunday, you know, whenever I'm bored at nighttime, or I'm watching a movie, not really into it, I'll just scroll through and look at guns, whatever. Um, Project gun that I haven't done yet, that I've been wanting to do for a while. Now I have the time to um, put together a 7.62-39 AR platform. Um, 7.62, you guys have all heard me. I talk about that. That's my favorite caliber by far. I think AKs are way superior compared to AR-15s. I don't care what anybody says. You want to talk about damage? I mean, these things are durable. You can beat the hell out of them. The Soviet Union mass manufacturing them. I mean, either stamped receivers or milled receivers, but they're metal and they're hardcore metal, dude. Um, I don't know. And I was like, well, I've got a bunch. I've got an AK. I've got a couple other 7.62s. Why not? Why not? Why not? Right? Um, and it falls into line with, and I was explaining this to my kids, but I don't think they're old enough to understand yet. Um, so, like handguns, for instance, you've got, let's see, we'll go Glock Sig, Smith and Wesson, FN, whatever. Um, if you were to carry a backup gun, okay, what rounds is your backup gun going to carry? I always tell my kids, I'm like, look, if you're going to carry two guns around, if you're going to have extra mags or whatever, I recommend that you would have, like, let's say it was a 9mm, you would have two guns that carry 9mm round or shoot 9mm rounds. Sorry, excuse me on that. Reason being, it's common. Your other gun, you can run off 9mm. So you've got two firearms, one caliber. For any strange reason, you'd need to share rounds, or you'd hand your backup gun to your wife or whatever if you're in a predicament. I don't know what kind of predicament people be getting in. Being like, hey, honey, here, shoot this dude. Plus, my wife carries, so I wouldn't have to do that. But you've got calibers that are, you know, fairly common, cheaper. We know 9mm is sufficient. So 7.62, I mean, it never hurts to have another 7.62, right? Shit. And ammo is dirt cheap, and that is what I love about it. So, rather than paying arm and a leg, man, for 5.56, go buy some steel case, that good old Wolf, cheapo ammo, everything like that you can. Thank you, Soviet Union, or Tulamo, or any of those guys. But that's thought on the matter. Hella superior. I drank way too much eggnog last night doing that eggnog challenge, and I don't recommend people do it. My guts, dude, boy, I'm still hurting it. It still hurts today. Let's put it that way. And that wasn't even a gallon. Only, what was it, a quart or half gallon? Oh, doing that in an hour, man. I was up all night worried I was gonna puke. Like, my stomach was just killing me. I'm pretty sure I'm diabetic too now. All that sugar from that stuff. But yeah. So that's what's going on these days. Had a great shooting sesh with the fam yesterday. Shot some more pumpkins. I hit it a bunch with rimfire. It's funny. You look on the video, you see the pumpkins, like you see the one that I hit with 357 mag, and then you've got like all these little rimfire, little 22 holes in it. On the kids' pumpkins they were shooting. I gotta tell you, man, it's like I said in the video I dropped. Something about teaching your kids to shoot, and then watching how much better they've gotten over time, and just watching your kids safely handle firearms. Just very mature and responsible about it. I don't know. That's just something to me that it's like an accomplishment as a parent. A lot of people are thinking, "Wow, Casey's a gun nut, crazy nut dude, whatever." That is also true, but I don't know, man. It's like watching them grow up, stuff like that. I mean, hell, my daughter's been shooting since she was 4. My stepson. I mean, hell, even my wife. Um, when I started taking her out shooting, she'd limp wrist it, or she wouldn't extend hard enough. Practicing over time, she's getting better, stance better, lean, breathe, doing all the techniques and everything like that. It's like, man, you know, accuracy's getting better, all that stuff. So I don't know, had a blast doing it. That's why I just thought in my head, I enjoyed this. My own family's getting better at shooting and stuff like that. Why, a lot of people that are out there that want to shoot maybe don't have somebody to coach them or somebody with as much experience or something along that line. And, that's why my videos, are always going to be free. I wanted to do Patreon for a while because I thought, yeah, and it's not like I would ever really make a whole lot of money off of it anyways. I mean, let's be realistic here. I'm not some huge channel or big celebrity, big name, whatever. I don't use my military service to boost my channels or anything like that. Quite frankly, there's enough of that going on. Uh, yeah, and then, yeah, it's, I'm doing it all based off of myself. But I don't know, man. It's people wanting to learn how to shoot. I think is incredibly important. I think, quite frankly, Americans that are pro, Second Amendment. It's civic duty, and the reason I say this, you look at countries like Switzerland, or you look at Finland, or countries where people are armed. They do their military service. They keep their service rifles. Now, I don't think Finland does it anymore, but Switzerland, for instance, everybody's got their SIGs, all that good stuff. Um, it's like it's a civic duty in case there's ever tyranny or civil war or things like that. Well, it's your duty to protect your family, your home, your community, your country. Um, as indoctrinated crazy as it may sound, as a child growing up, I was huge into Boy Scouts. Way into Boy Scouts. I loved it. I was privileged. My parents didn't have a ton of money, but I was privileged to the extent of that I was able to go and do that type of stuff as a kid. Now, you know, I can forget a lot of stuff, and I can remember a few things, and most of the things that I remember are complete bullshit that'll never help anybody in life. But one of the big things with the Boy Scouts that I look back and think about is on my honor, do my best, do my duty to God and my country. And the word duty, and people have heard me say that quite a bit on here, is, to some it's hollow. To me, it's a big deal. Now it's funny, of course, duty, haha, Peter Griffin laughed, but like, uh, having a duty, having a purpose, it can change your life. It really can point you in a direction, can make you do things that you didn't think you'd be able to do, that accomplishments. And, you know, I'm coming up on the big 4-0 in a month. And I think of accomplishments, and I've thought about it, and a lot of stuff that I've done is, I feel like, man, I've had a pretty eventful life. I think about it, in some other people, their accomplishments and things they've done in life, man, it's amazing. It's insane. I love seeing, like, some of the people that are like the Forrest Gumps, that they've done a lot of stuff or whatnot. It's cool, and I don't know. There's no jealousy or anything about it. It's interesting because maybe they took a similar path. Somehow theirs changed and went off to a different direction. But like Boy Scouts, though, with duty. Um, I grew up. My parents respect nature, respect animals, stuff like that. My dad, he was very clear on if you're going to kill something, you're going to eat it. And that's been my rule with my kids. Fishing or hunting is like, guys, you're going to take the life of that animal. You're going to eat it. You're going to respect it. You're going to use everything from that animal you can. None of my kids have shot any animals yet, luckily. But I found out what squirrel tastes like when I was a kid because of that rule, and never shot another squirrel again in my life. And you don't want to be shooting squirrels nowadays because we'd all seen what's been going on in the news with that one. It's crazy. It's insane. But there's the accomplishments, things like that. Um, and quite frankly, I have to tell you, my favorite accomplishment in life that I've gotten to this point of is being a dad and a husband, man. I mean, it might sound sappy and soggy and cute, whatever, but I'll tell you what, man, when you're standing behind your kids, they're lined up, they're ready to shoot, they're shooting pumpkins, shooting targets, whatever. Safest, it being incredibly safe, following all the safety rules, doing the breathing exercises for shooting. You tell them fire when ready. You can hear them breathe in. You hear them breathe out. You hear them hold their breath, and then they shoot and they hit. And it's like, damn, dude. I all I did was provide the kids with the tools of how to do this. They're the ones that did it themselves. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. And so, it's like I don't know. I just enjoy it, and shooting, whether it be for self-defense or whether it be if you're in law enforcement or in the military or you're a civilian, whatever the case is, man. I love the sport. I love the precision sport. I love the science behind the development of different ammunitions and different firearms. I love the history of it. And that's why I do that Gunfather series. I know with those, they're not the most popular things that I do as far as content on the channel, but I'll tell you what, with those, probably I put more time in development, of a 8-minute God Gunfather series video than I do if I were to pull up and create a off the X drill or a box drill or any type of that. And the reason for it, and what's cool is there's a few websites you can go to where there's guys who actually come up with drills, and the drills are named after them. Now there's a lot of drills that most of the drills you guys have seen me use on this, or they've been around for a while. Uh, Somebody else had come up with them, and how they come up with them is what's interesting, because there were situations that happened that inspired people for these drills. Um, my favorite drill of all time, and I think it's probably the most important drill as far as if you want to get into the self-defense aspect, is the Mozambique stop drill. Um, it took place. There was a lot of mercenary, a lot of warfare, a lot of contracting going out in Africa. I mean, Africa constantly with civil wars in some of the countries. The Mozambique stop drill came to be because this guy, he got shot 2 times in the chest. It didn't drop him. He kept charging at the person. Then they put one in his head and dropped him. And so you're wrapping off those 3 shots because people, when they've got adrenaline going, you can hit them. They can keep going. When people can be on drugs, keep charging at you. Anything like that. And it's just, and so that's how that drill came to be. You've got switching to your sidearm from primary. As goofy as it looks and sounds, it's faster than reloading. A lot of guys were, getting shot with the reload. Sometimes if you have a hot rifle, or magazine malfunction, you can't eject it, get a new mag to put in, whatever the case, well, you've got your sidearm that is ready to go. And so, that being the case, you're in those last ditch efforts. The part about all of it I like, though, is over time, when you've trained and practiced so much, it comes to you naturally where you don't have to think to do it. You just do it automated, and it's I always wanted to kind of one-up it, like the, for instance, with the switching to sidearm drills and stuff like that. I'm left-handed. If you guys watch, I'm shooting a right-handed rifle, left-handed, shooting a right-handed shotgun, left-handed. I've adjusted to, you know, bullet casings ejecting. I don't blink. I don't flinch. Uh, I've adapted to it. I'm so accustomed to it. Now, if I'm doing a switch drill, I can shoot my rifle left-handed. I can wear my pistol on my right-hand side. So when I'm going to that sidearm, I can actually pull up after I've dropped my rifle and switch to shooting right-handed, ambidextrous. When I put out that video footage of that clip a while ago, you know, there was a comment from one of you guys, and it was, dang man, ambidextrous, you might as well just dual wield. And I didn't really think about it. I didn't really think like too big on it. I didn't think it was like super uncommon or anything like that, because I'm sure there's other guys out there that have done it long before me, you know, but it was like, you know, I trained myself to be ambidextrous shooting, and I can't, I mean, you know, it's the things that you're capable of doing, you can do, but you don't realize it until you do it, or until somebody else points it out. It's, you know, and I'm not going to say I'm like the ultimate marksman. By no means am I a sniper. I'm quite frankly, that's, you know, my rifle scores were good. You know, sure you can hit the expert mark, but snipers and all that shit, man, a lot harder than people think. I mean, there's so much more to it than you have a big sexy rifle, a huge scope, you know, and you're shooting targets from a distance. But you know, and that's something that I've had to clear up with my kids too, because of this new pop culture, which is also probably the reason why I always go after that Johnny Q douchebag. It's this: my kids, well, my stepson, my daughter is a little different because she's been around guns longer, but my stepson, you know, when we're shooting pumpkins or whatever, one of them we hit with some buckshot, and he was like, damn, that was like a railgun on Fortnite. And I'm like, no, that's not a railgun, buddy. Railguns got multiple barrels. And to explain all that to him, and I said, they shoot lots of bullets. That was some shotgun buckshot. That's just a regular shotgun. He was like, whoa, they do that much damage? And I'm like, yeah, they do. You know, so it's, I don't know, I mean, with the kids, you know, correcting and teaching and things like that, and that's, you know, as much as I clown Johnny Q, he has changed some of his stuff, which, you know, I'll give him credit for. Has he admitted when he was wrong, though? No, he's not going to do that. Shit, he'd have to admit he was wrong to 2-point-something million viewers that are subscribed to the guy. But he's got too much of an ego. But, you know, then I was thinking more about it. I'm like, you know, my kids are learning firearm safety. My kids use correct terminology. My kids field stripping the weapons down, loading their own, doing all that, waiting until they're told, all right, you're clear, fire. I don't know, it's, I would hope that for other people, you know, that want to shoot, develop the discipline, doing all that stuff. A lot of people don't start out, obviously, until they're at a different age. A lot of people live in cities and areas of the United States or the world where firearms are prohibited. So, you know, it's difficult to be able to go out and do the things I can do, or take my kids out at such a young age to do it. But, you know, and that's why, like, it's like, okay, you know, you've got somebody who they just barely got Mossberg 500 or Ruger 1022 or Glock 19, or, you know, they bought a Colt M4, whatever. They want to get into shooting, but they're not allowed to go out as much, or maybe they can't afford to have a trainer or somebody like that. Well, you know, with this day and age, the good thing about technology and whatnot, although it's never exactly the same, in my opinion, being able to offer somebody that support and they can go to my channel and just be like, oh, let's see here, cross draw. I'll work on that in 2 weeks when I go to the range again. You know, it's not like me where I'm lucky I can get off work at 5 o'clock, go home, throw some guns in the car, drive on over to my range, and go shoot or whatever, and then have a good shooting session, filming, recording, practice, and then go home and be done in 30 minutes. It's different for a lot of people, and so I know internet, as crazy as it is, we all use it, Google and all that good stuff. So why make my stuff cost money and make it? I don't know. I'd rather just help people out, even with my mistakes and stuff like that. It's they can learn from that and improve. Uh, Another thing, teaching people stuff, and this is kind of always my mentality, is like I want my kids to be better than me. I want them to be a better marksman. I want them, you know, maybe I'll learn stuff from them. Who knows? But I mean, like the whole point, when you're teaching students and stuff like that, is eventually someday they will surpass you. And then when they start teaching, there's, and on the circle goes. But that's kind of the way to go about it. There's always a learning experience and enjoy it. Um, it's fun to talk shit with your kids too. When your kids talk shit right back, I get a kick out of that too. It's enjoyable. It's funny. My daughter's the queen of talking shit. We, I think we're gonna have to start a swear jar in my home. But oh man, we'll be shooting, and what was it she said to me yesterday? Who's the bitch now? Said that to me, and I'm like looking around, making sure my wife didn't hear. I'm like, hey, you're gonna get me in trouble doing that stuff. But she's a character. It's funny. Or like, my stepson hitting his targets on mark, and he's like, hell yeah. And then I'll like look at him, and he'll be like, I'll just do the thumbs up, good job, buddy. It's a good time. But that was a fun shooting experience. But back to what I'm saying again: multiple calibers, multiple firearms. It's awesome. We all have some guns in our collections that are, differentiate whatever. But as far as like the guns that I'm constantly shooting at the range, uh, my pistols. I mean, I usually just shoot 9mm, whether it be Beretta, Glock, Smith and Wesson, Sig, or high powers or whatever. 9mm, 45s, 1911s, sweet guns, big boy guns. When you get into like the magnums, I mean, I have a 357. I don't shoot that often, but I get into like rifles. I've got 22s. My kids all have 22s. All have our own. That's one of my favorite calibers because it's cheap. Dad's on a budget. I gotta love rimfire for that. Plus, you can pop them off like crazy, dude, until your heart's content, man, and not feel guilty. That's the cool thing about it. But shotguns, just 12 gauge, or then your rifles, your 5.56 or 7.62 common rounds. Not to say 40 caliber is my favorite pistol, and I shoot a lot of that, but I don't have multiples. But that's just the way it is. So, well, anyways, guys, I'll have some stuff dropping later today. You guys all enjoy your Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. People that do actually watch this, take care.